What if the secret to attracting anything faster isn't about doing more, but about becoming more? What if the version of you who already has the love, the wealth, the health, the freedom, isn't something you have to chase, but something you have to tune into? This isn't wishful thinking. This is quantum mechanics meeting ancient wisdom, backed by neuroscience, and made practical by the teachings of Dr. Joe Dispenza. You've heard that everything is energy, but few understand what that actually means. Fewer still know how to embody that energy in a way that bends reality. In this video, you're going to discover how to act, not from the outside in, but from the inside out, to attract your desires, not through force but through vibration. You'll learn why most people unconsciously delay their manifestations, even when they're doing affirmations and vision boards. You'll understand how your body has become addicted to an emotional past and how to break free from that addiction, so you can step into the version of you who already is what you want to become. The first truth we must face is this: reality is not as solid as we've been taught. Modern physics, particularly quantum mechanics, reveals that matter at its core is not fixed substance but vibrating energy. What we call physical is, in essence, a dense field of probabilities, constantly shifting based on observation and interaction. Ancient traditions knew this long before science caught up. Mystics, sages, and spiritual teachers across cultures spoke of life as vibration, of thought as creative energy, of consciousness shaping the world around us. When Dr. Joe Dispenza bridges these two realms, cutting-edge science and timeless wisdom, he provides us with a framework that is both intellectually grounded and spiritually empowering. Neuroscience tells us that our brains are not hardwired machines. They are plastic, adaptable, and programmable. Every thought, every emotion, every repeated belief carves pathways in the brain and conditions the body. Over time, who we think we are becomes a set of memorized patterns. But here's the empowering part. If those patterns can be programmed, they can also be reprogrammed. Think of yourself as both the radio transmitter and the receiver. When your inner state, your thoughts, emotions, and intentions, sends out a clear frequency, the quantum field responds. It mirrors back opportunities, synchronicities, and experiences that match that vibration. This is not superstition. It is resonance. Just as two tuning forks vibrate together when struck, your inner frequency calls forth the outer reality aligned with it. But here's where most people get stuck. They believe if they simply do more affirmations, more vision boards, more hustle, they will force the universe to respond. Yet their inner state is still wired to lack, fear, or doubt. They say, "I want abundance," but feel scarcity. They affirm, "I am love," but deep inside carry unworthiness. That inner conflict creates incoherence, and the quantum field doesn't respond to words, it responds to vibration. So the secret is not doing more, it is becoming more. Becoming the version of yourself who already has what you seek. This requires a shift from intellectual effort to embodied state. Instead of trying to convince yourself through force, you learn to step into the energy of your future self now. If your desired self is abundant, you practice feeling abundance before the evidence shows up. If your desired self is healthy, you embody vitality in your emotions even before your body fully reflects it. This is where neuroscience and spirituality converge. Brain imaging studies show that when people deeply visualize a future state and generate the associated emotions, their brains and bodies begin to act as though the event has already occurred. The neurons fire in new sequences, the body releases new chemicals, and a new identity begins to take shape. In essence, the future starts to be memorized into the present. Imagine waking up tomorrow and asking not, "What do I need to achieve today?" but "Who do I choose to be today?" This single shift moves you from chasing outcomes to becoming the cause of outcomes. The world outside no longer dictates your inner state. Your inner state dictates the world outside. This is the true secret of attraction, not forcing reality to give you what you want, but aligning yourself so deeply with the frequency of your desired future that reality has no choice but to mirror it back. When you embody love, love shows up. When you embody freedom, doors open. When you embody abundance, opportunities align. And here's the most liberating insight. You already carry the blueprint of that future self within you. It is not somewhere out there waiting to be found. It exists as a potential in the quantum field, waiting for your alignment. Your task is not to chase, but to tune in, to upgrade your thoughts, recalibrate your emotions, and live each day as the living expression of the person you are becoming. In the coming sections, we will dive deeper into the traps that hold us in old energy, the science of coherence between heart and brain, and the practical steps to embody your future self today. But for now, remember this. The universe doesn't respond to effort alone, it responds to energy. You're not just a passive participant in life. You are a transmitter, a creator, a vibrational being shaping reality with every thought and feeling you embody. So the question is not, what do I need to do? The question is, who am I choosing to be? If the secret of attraction is becoming more rather than doing more, then the first obstacle we must confront is why so many of us struggle to step into that future version of ourselves. Why do our best intentions, affirmations, and vision boards often fall flat? The answer lies in what I call the trap of the past. Most people live each day not as creators of new realities, but as repeaters of old programs. The body, over years of repetition, has memorized states of being: worry, stress, lack, doubt, unworthiness. These emotions aren't just fleeting feelings. They become chemically hardwired into our biology. Imagine for a moment, if you've spent 10 years feeling anxious every morning, your body doesn't wait for a stressful event to trigger that anxiety. It wakes up already primed to deliver that chemical cocktail of fear before you've even had your first thought. This is why Dr. Joe Dispenza says, your body has become the unconscious mind. The moment you open your eyes, your body pulls you back into yesterday. The emotion floods in, the thoughts follow, and before long, you're reliving the same day you had before. Different circumstances, same energy. Different goals, same vibration. And because the quantum field responds not to your wishes but to your vibration, your reality stays unchanged. Here's the painful truth. Most people are trying to create a new future with the same energy as their past. They want abundance, but they carry the vibration of lack. They long for love, but their body is addicted to the energy of rejection and unworthiness. They desire freedom, but every cell still remembers the heaviness of being stuck. So what happens? The universe mirrors that back. It's not because life is unfair. It's because the signal we're broadcasting is incoherent with what we say we want. Let's break this down scientifically. Every thought produces a biochemical reaction. That reaction generates a feeling. That feeling reinforces the thought, and the cycle continues. Over years, this loop creates a personality state, a predictable combination of thoughts, feelings, and actions that we mistake for who we are. But it isn't who we are. It's just a program. Neuroscience tells us that by the age of 35, most people are living almost entirely by these unconscious programs, acting more like machines than conscious creators. Think of it like this. You may wake up saying, "Today I'll think positive. Today I'll attract abundance." But if your body is already addicted to the familiar chemicals of stress, fear, or lack, it will signal your brain to think thoughts that match those feelings. The loop takes over before you even realize it. This is why change feels so hard. It's not because you're weak, lazy, or broken. It's because your body is faithfully replaying the past. And here lies the real trap, the comfort of the familiar. Even if the past is painful, the body clings to it because it knows it. Survival wiring in the brain makes us prefer the predictable, no matter how uncomfortable it is, over the unknown. So we keep choosing the same reactions, the same emotions, the same identity. And the field keeps reflecting that back to us. So how do we break free? The first step is awareness. You cannot change what you are unwilling to notice. Begin by observing your emotional signatures. Do you wake up already feeling tired, anxious, or defeated? That is your past hijacking your present. Do you find yourself reliving the same arguments, the same disappointments, the same doubts? That is your programming, not your true self. Awareness shines a light on the loop, and the moment you see it, you begin to loosen its grip. The second step is to interrupt the pattern. When you feel the familiar wave of anxiety or lack, pause. Breathe. Choose not to act automatically. This moment of interruption is powerful because it creates space for a new choice. Remember, every new choice sends a new signal to the quantum field. You don't need to change everything overnight. You just need to consistently choose differently, moment by moment. The third step is to install a new emotional state before external evidence appears. If your body is addicted to unworthiness, begin teaching it the feeling of worthiness. If it's addicted to lack, practice gratitude for what you already have. If it's addicted to fear, practice trust, even for a few seconds at a time. Those seconds are seeds. And as you plant them consistently, your body begins to memorize a new future instead of reliving an old past. So the trap of the past is real, but it's not permanent. The only thing keeping you stuck is the belief that your emotions define you. They don't. They're simply programs that can be reprogrammed. The quantum field is not responding to who you were yesterday. It is responding to who you are being now. And here's the beautiful truth. The moment you stop identifying with the old self, the self addicted to pain, lack, and doubt, and begin to embody even a glimpse of your future self, reality starts to shift. Possibilities collapse, synchronicities emerge, and you begin to experience life not as a prisoner of the past, but as a creator of the future. This is why the practice is so crucial. Because each day you choose differently. You train your body and mind to expect the unknown rather than cling to the familiar. And that's when the trap of the past loses its power. If the past has kept us trapped in old emotions, then the path forward is clear. To change, you must begin to inhabit your future self now. This is not about pretending, nor is it about faking it until you make it. Instead, it is about aligning your mind, your body, and your energy so fully with the future you desire that it becomes your present reality. Think about it this way. Every version of you already exists in the quantum field. There is a version of you who is abundant, who is healthy, who is free, who is deeply loved. Those versions are not distant fantasies. They are potential realities, waiting for you to tune into their frequency. The moment you step into alignment with that version, your energy broadcasts a new signal, and the field has no choice but to respond. This process begins with feeling first, not waiting for evidence. Most people believe they'll feel abundant once the money arrives, or they'll feel loved once the relationship appears. But in truth, waiting for the external world to change before you allow yourself to feel differently is what keeps you stuck. The paradox of transformation is this. You must feel it before it arrives. You must embody the gratitude, the joy, the freedom now, before you see proof, because that state of being is the magnet that draws the experience to you. Neuroscience proves this. Studies show that when you mentally rehearse an event with deep emotion, your brain fires the same neural circuits as if you were actually living it. The body then produces the same chemicals, creating a state of being that is indistinguishable from the real experience. In other words, the brain and body begin to believe that the future has already arrived. This is what Dr. Joe Dispenza calls memorizing a new self. Imagine someone who desires financial freedom. Instead of waking up consumed by anxiety over bills, they pause, breathe, and ask, how would the version of me who is already financially free feel right now? As they hold that feeling, even if just for a few moments, their body begins to learn a new pattern. With repetition, that state becomes more natural. Over time, the nervous system starts to expect freedom instead of fear, opportunity instead of scarcity. This is not fantasy, it is training. Just as an athlete rehearses a performance until it becomes second nature, you rehearse your future identity until it becomes who you are. The more you practice, the less you're trying to be your future self, and the more you simply are that self. At that point, synchronicities begin to show up. People call, doors open, unexpected solutions appear. From the outside, it may look like coincidence. From the inside, you know it's coherence, the universe reflecting your new signal back to you. But let's be clear, becoming your future self is not about bypassing challenges or ignoring reality. It is about meeting reality with a new state of being. When obstacles appear, the old self reacts with fear or doubt. The future self responds with calm, trust, and clarity. Each time you choose the response of your future self, you reinforce that identity, and the old patterns lose power. Here's the practical question. How do you begin? Start small. Each day, take a few minutes to visualize your future self. See them clearly, hear their voice, feel their emotions. Then, shift from visualization into embodiment. Let your body feel the gratitude of already living that life. Hold it long enough that your nervous system begins to memorize it. Then, act in alignment with that state throughout the day. The truth is, your future self is not waiting somewhere far away. It is available in this moment, in every choice you make. When you pause to breathe instead of react, when you choose trust instead of fear, when you embody gratitude instead of lack, you collapse the distance between who you are and who you want to be. Becoming your future self is not about striving. It's about surrendering the old identity and choosing again and again to live from the energy of the new one. And as you do, you'll discover the most liberating truth of all. You are not chasing the future. You are becoming it. Up until now, we've explored how the past can trap us, and how the key to transformation lies in becoming your future self today. But there is a deeper principle that makes this possible, and it's what scientists and mystics alike have called coherence. So, what exactly is coherence? In the simplest terms, coherence is when your heart and your brain, the two most powerful electromagnetic centers in your body, move into rhythm with each other. Instead of sending chaotic, conflicting signals into the field, they produce a unified frequency, like a perfectly tuned symphony. And when that happens, your energy becomes clear, strong, and magnetic. Most of us don't live in coherence. We think one thing, but we feel another. We say, I want success, but deep down we feel fear of failure. We affirm, I am loved, but internally we feel unworthy. This creates incoherence, static energy, like trying to tune a radio station but only hearing noise. And just as a radio cannot receive clearly when it's off frequency, the quantum field cannot deliver a clear response when your energy is mixed and conflicted. But when your thoughts and feelings are aligned, when gratitude and vision flow together, coherence is born. And coherence is powerful. Scientific studies, including those conducted at Joe Dispenza's workshops, have measured real-time brain scans and heart rhythms. The data shows that in moments of coherence, when people practice gratitude, joy, or love even before circumstances change, their brain waves synchronize, their heart rhythms become harmonious, and their entire body shifts from survival mode into creation mode. Stress hormones decrease. Healing chemicals increase. The immune system strengthens. The body begins to restore itself naturally. This is why people in these states often report what we call miracles. Spontaneous remission of illness, sudden financial breakthroughs, unexpected encounters with love, opportunities arriving out of nowhere. From the outside, it seems magical. But it isn't magic, it's resonance. The universe is responding not to desperation, but to the clear, coherent signal of who you are being. So how do you step into coherence? The doorway is gratitude. Gratitude is the emotional signature of abundance. When you feel genuine gratitude, not because something has happened, but because you've decided to embody it, you are signaling to the field that your future is already here. That emotion carries a frequency that draws your desires closer, collapsing the gap between potential and reality. Think of it like this: incoherence is static noise, coherence is a clear channel. When you are coherent, you broadcast a signal that the quantum field can immediately recognize and respond to. It's as if you've shifted from shouting random words into the wind to speaking a precise frequency into a microphone that amplifies across the universe. The clearer the signal, the faster the response. This is why daily practice matters. Each time you sit quietly, breathe deeply, and generate gratitude for a future that hasn't yet arrived, you train your heart and brain to synchronize. With practice, it becomes easier and more natural. Soon, you don't just do coherence, you live in coherence. And when you live in coherence, you stop waiting for life to bring you reasons to feel joy, love, or gratitude. You bring those emotions first, and life reflects them back. It's important to understand that coherence doesn't eliminate challenges. Life will still present obstacles. But coherence changes your relationship to them. Instead of reacting with panic or frustration, you meet challenges with balance, creativity, and clarity. From this state, solutions emerge faster, doors open more easily, and what once felt overwhelming becomes manageable. So the power of coherence is not just about manifesting material outcomes. It is about reclaiming your wholeness. When your heart and brain are aligned, you no longer live divided against yourself. You embody integrity, your thoughts, feelings, and actions moving in the same direction. And that wholeness radiates outward, drawing into your life everything that matches it. Here is the great invitation: to live as if your future has already arrived. To feel gratitude, love, and sufficiency right now. Not because of external proof, but because you choose it. The moment you do, coherence begins. The field responds. And your life transforms from a struggle of force to a flow of resonance. Remember this truth: it's not magic, it's resonance. And resonance is the language the universe has always understood. We've journeyed through the traps of the past, the vision of the future self, and the power of coherence. But none of this matters unless you can anchor it into your daily life. Transformation is not a one-time event, it is a practice. It is not about perfection, it is about consistency. So often, people believe change must be sudden and dramatic, like flipping a switch. But neuroscience and lived experience both tell us that transformation happens in small, repeated acts of alignment. Every time you pause, breathe, and embody the energy of your future self, you're carving new pathways in the brain, training your body to expect a new reality, and broadcasting a new frequency into the field. Let's be clear. This isn't about meditating for hours or forcing yourself into some ideal state you cannot sustain. It's about simple, consistent practice. Just a few minutes a day is enough to recondition your body and mind. Close your eyes. Breathe deeply. Bring into awareness the future you desire, not as something distant, but as something already done. And then feel. Feel gratitude as though it is already yours. Let that emotion spread through your body until every cell resonates with it. That is coherence. That is creation. Now here's the part many people struggle with: falling back. You practice, you feel amazing, you sense alignment. And then tomorrow, an old trigger pulls you back into fear, frustration, or doubt. Many assume this means they have failed. But the truth is, that moment is not failure. It is opportunity. It is the chance to choose again. Every time you catch yourself slipping into the old self and consciously return to the new, you are weakening the neural circuits of the past and strengthening the networks of your future. This is the real work of transformation. Think of it like exercising a muscle. The strength doesn't come from never feeling tired. It comes from showing up again and again, even when it's hard. Each repetition builds resilience. In the same way, each act of choosing your future self builds the new identity until it becomes natural. One day, you wake up and realize you are no longer trying to be the new you. You are the new you. This is why Joe Dispenza calls it closing the identity gap, the space between who your body remembers you to be and who you've decided to become. Bridging that gap doesn't happen in one leap. It happens in thousands of micro-choices: to breathe instead of react, to trust instead of fear, to embody gratitude instead of lack. Each choice is like tuning an instrument closer to the right pitch. Eventually, your whole being resonates with the frequency of your desired future. And here is the beautiful paradox. Once you are consistent in practice, the effort begins to dissolve. What once felt like a struggle becomes second nature. You are no longer waiting for the future to happen. You are living from the future now. Life begins to meet you at the level of your vibration because you have become the cause, not the effect. So what's the takeaway? It's this: transformation is available to anyone, not because of perfection, but because of practice. You don't need to be flawless. You only need to be willing to show up, to choose again, to commit to the vision of your future self until it becomes your identity. And the deeper value I want you to carry with you is this: you are not powerless. You are not broken. You are not at the mercy of your past. You are energy. You are a creator. Every thought, every feeling, every choice is your chance to broadcast a new signal into the universe. The more consistently you practice, the clearer your frequency becomes, until reality cannot help but mirror it back. So stop waiting. Begin today. Close your eyes, breathe, embody the gratitude of already living your desired life. And when you stumble, don't despair. Simply choose again. Each choice is a seed, and with consistency, those seeds grow into the future you've always known was possible. Because ultimately, transformation is not about chasing the future. It's about becoming it. And once you live from that truth, you discover the real gift: peace, purpose, and the freedom of knowing that you are the frequency shaping your reality.